Many people self-identify as either an introvert or an extrovert, swearing by those labels. But in reality, these personality traits fall on a spectrum, rather than introversion and extroversion being mutually exclusive. The people who tend to consistently fall toward the middle of the spectrum are called ambiverts. Here's what we know about ambivert psychology and what are considered ambivert traits. What is an ambivert? An ambivert is someone who has a balance of both introversion and extroversion, with the ability to lean more into one or the other depending on the context. For example, where introverts may prefer to listen while extroverts prefer to chat, an ambivert will likely have no trouble with either. They're flexible. An ambivert's propensity for introversion and extroversion can change depending on individual needs in any given moment or situation. Signs you may be an ambivert. 1. Neither introvert nor extrovert feel accurate for describing your personality. If you've always struggled to pick between these two labels, that's a good sign you might be an ambivert. Ambiverts have introvert qualities like enjoying alone time, being a good listener, and being enthralled by a human's inner world. But they also love spending time with others, have a lot of confidence, and have great social skills like extroverts. 2. You need your me time just as much as social time. You get energized both by being around others, like extroverts, and by spending recharging time alone, like introverts. Perhaps you enjoy them both equally, or the one you enjoy the most fluctuates depending on what's going on in your life. Personalities change all the time. Perhaps you've had phases in your life when you needed a lot of alone time, periods of time when you were all about the social gatherings and social situations. It's all good stuff to you. Number 3. You prefer a balance of both solo and group work. Ambiverts are all about balance. They tend to see the value of both doing things on their own and doing things as a collective, and they prefer a mix of both. Number 4. Both too much alone time and too much time with others can feel draining. Importantly, ambiversion is not the same as anything goes. While ambiverts are flexible, they're not without needs. Often that means that lack of enough alone time or lack of enough quality time with others can feel exhausting. Again, the balance is the key. Number 5. You appreciate good conversation, but also value comfortable silence. Extroverts tend to be talkers. Introverts tend to be listeners. Ambiverts can play both roles easily. They love a roaring conversation and being the life of the party, but they're not bothered when the conversation dies down or attention goes elsewhere. Number 6. Small talk doesn't bother you, though you also love deep conversations. Introverts are notorious for hating small talk, aka more surface-level conversations about the weather and what you did today. They tend to prefer getting way deeper, having long and introspective conversations. Extroverts, on the other hand, tend to be chatty and love talking about everything under the sun without discrimination. Ambiverts love it all: the small talk, the big talk, the deep stuff, and the silly stuff. Number 7. You have a lot of friends and a handful of close friends. Extroverts tend to have a whole lot of friends, whereas introverts tend to have just a handful of close friends they spend time with. Ambiverts have both, a huge extended network of friends and folks they spend time with, as well as a smaller set of close friends they're really intimate with. If you can switch between being reserved and being social, you're most likely an ambivert. Ambiverts don't mind working alone or in a group. Neither do they have a preference when it comes to choosing between being introverted and extroverted. This flexible personality type works to your advantage in a professional setting, where you may have to deal with different kinds of people and engage in a variety of tasks. Being adaptable will open doors to better opportunities, and you'll find that you're more receptive to your surroundings. Someone with an ambivert personality is also good at speaking up for themselves. They're able to compartmentalize their emotions and think objectively. They can be assertive when they need to be, and reserved in other situations. You'll find that ambiverts perform well in client-facing roles. Dealing with clients or customers requires a lot of patience and an active listening habit, traits that ambiverts have. While it may seem like there are only upsides to ambiversion, and there are plenty, this personality can come with its own set of challenges. Ambiverts are very flexible and adaptable to different situations and people. They're great at knowing how to interact with different personalities because they can relate to lots of different people. Their balance of extroversion and introversion makes them less likely to experience the downsides of either, like missing out on interpersonal connections, introverts, or lacking an inner connection to themselves, extroverts. However, this flexibility can make it difficult to pinpoint what they might want or need. Ever made plans when feeling extroverted, but when the day comes and your inner introvert pokes its head out? This is a common occurrence for ambiverts, as their mood and desires can and will change. It's a gift to have this balance.